every single Friday that does that.
I'd like to be able to take blame for it, but it's not me.
No, it's not you, Tim.
I would love for it to be my fault.
1 hour and 59 minutes of sports talk excellence here in this Flower City. Unfortunately, I've used that joke one too many times. Welcome on into the sports bar. Gene Battaglia with you here. It is a beautiful day here in Rochester. Sun is out. Wings are home tonight. And if you woke up like my son today in a pissy mood about the Sabres, I would just say this. These are paid professionals, okay? So I'm not going to say the Sabres are done. Are there some problems? Oh, for sure, yes, and we will discuss that today. And I've also said this. So these are the things I've said all along. Sabres in 7. This is a tough series. This will be tougher than Carolina. And Montreal is really good and talented, and the things that the Sabres do, Montreal, some of them, they actually do a little bit better, and that's been kind of evident, hasn't it? So if I told you in December, hey, coming up on Saturday, May 16th, the Sabres will be in Montreal for Game 6. They'll be facing elimination in round 2. Oh, my gosh, sign me up for that. Are you kidding me? Not only will we make the playoffs, oh, yeah. Yeah, so it has been unorthodox, certainly, for the Sabres just to where they were after all those years, and then all of a sudden we're considering that some of their issues wouldn't show up here at the most inopportune time. I think some are correctable, and some I really do have concerns. So I welcome your calls, 585-866-4326. Let's set you up on the show because we have a big guest coming up at the bottom of the hour. One, Greg Rousseau, Buffalo Bills edge rusher, joining us here in the show as it will be the charity softball game coming up at ESL Field on June the 7th. And we'll tell you about that as Greg will kind of talk about that event, what to expect, and certainly we'll talk some Buffalo Bills with him, OTAs, starting back up next week. We will also be talking about the schedule. Greg Rousseau, Buffalo Bills, coming up bottom of this hour. Hour number 2, we think. I'm putting this as I want to put it in pen, Timmy, but Matthew Fairburn, who joins us for Fridays, but he is in transit. And I know this from personal experience. Like the cell phone, like if you are going, not the QEW, but you're on the other side there, I'm hoping that he'll time out okay. And then if he's at the border, forget it. He's not going to be doing that. Anybody that wants to go to Montreal too, I would advise going up the Watertown route. You don't need to go all the way up to Albany and then up the North Way. That looks quicker on a map. It really isn't. So Matthew Fairburn, we'll find out which way he's going. Maybe he's already there. But he said he'd love to do it, but he just wasn't exactly sure. Matthew Fairburn in pencil at 2:25 today. Again, our phone number, 585-866-4326. That's the Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line. Award-winning barbecue from Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 135 West Commercial Street, East Rochester, goodsmokebbq.com. I'm going to just table the Sabre talk for a second.
Okay.
Because this is a team that should contend for a Super Bowl, the Buffalo Bills. So when I look at the schedule, there are a few takeaways. Number 1, if I told you the Bills would start out, say, 2-2 on the season, you might say you're out of your mind. You might say, come on, this is Josh Allen. You might say, did you not see, like, only one of those games is on the road? I'm going to tell you how that could very easily happen, all right? And that would start off with a loss in Houston. If you don't get that one, then you have to sweep the next 3 in order to finish 3-1 out of the first quarter here. And, all right, Patriots, Super Bowl team, Chargers, playoff team, Lions, not a playoff team, but very talented, and it's a short week. So that's not an easy first 4. But then on the back end of that, when you're putting in a team that reached the NFC Championship game and then a game that, I'm like, what is going to be the game where the Bills could stub their toe? Is it the Raiders? Is it the Vikings? There's going to be one of those games on the road where, how did that happen? Last year was Atlanta. We thought Atlanta was going to be a good team, and no, they were
good that one week.
That was it. Yeah, that's all it took. So that's takeaway number one, is that the beginning of this schedule, although the Bills are home in the month of September, you got to get that one in Houston. That's why the NFL schedule is so important. Takeaway number two, what does the NFL have against the month of October in Western New York? Do they think we all like going to Schutt's Apple Mill? I do, by the way. And picking pumpkins? Absolutely. But they never schedule games in October more than the one. So we have October 4th against the Patriots. Period. The end. That's it. That's the only home game. In fact, if you're going from that game, you're going all the way to the Sunday before Thanksgiving, one game in between. So again, October 4th to Thanksgiving week, there is only one home game in between. And that's the Ravens on November 1st. And nestling that Raven game at home, sorry, Ravens, Bills aren't going to look past that one, coming off a bye, number one, all right? But then again, this isn't Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott coming out of the bye, great. So this is Joe Brady. We'll see how the team is prepared for that coming out. So yeah, some of the things we just always assume, no longer we can assume. That's a tough stretch. In fact, this happens twice. 4 out of 5 games on the road. Twice. The stretch I'm talking about right now. Monday Night Football at the Rams, at Vegas, bye week, home against the Ravens, then at the Vikings on Monday Night Football, and at the Jets. And then you get it toward the end of the season. Coming after Thanksgiving, you have one game before the season finale at home. That sounds wrong, but it's true. You are at the Patriots. You're at the Packers on Sunday Night Football. You get the Bears on Saturday night because, well, they got to inch you up to that Christmas Day game on Friday, December 25th, and then at the Dolphins on January the 3rd. That's tough, too. Now, the positives for the Bills? This. Tell me there isn't a softer landing than at Miami and home against the Jets. Look, it's the NFL, and teams rise up all the time. Blah, 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 blah. And yes, Miami beat the Bills last year. But that was in a situation in November where the Bills always, in the McDermott era, kind of got off course there. And you have extra rest, mind you, going into that. Okay, you're playing on Christmas Day. You're going to have 2 days extra rest for the game against the Dolphins. The Jet game in Week 18 to be determined. It's just going to be at home. So just like last year where the Jets were the regular season finale, you're going to get the regular season finale too. So some good, some bad here for the Buffalo Bills schedule. Ultimately, just win the games. Can they get the division? And beyond that, can they, for once, get the 1 seed? They haven't had the 1 seed since the final year of the Super Bowl run. And they kind of backed into it that year, too. It was like that was a year where really, all right, the Raiders are okay, and the AFC, and ended up being Joe Montana and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. The AFC wasn't all that year back in 1993. Heading into the 94 playoffs. This year, all right, it's, to me, this AFC is not from 1993. It's just not. I mean, the Chiefs are going to be a handful. The Ravens aren't going anywhere, where, assuming Joe Burrow is healthy. I mean, we can just go down the list. But in the division, I think the Bills are fine. Look, New England. Will the Bills split with New England? Sure. And somebody, and I wish, forgive me, it was actually somebody, a fan wrote this, and I thought it was very insightful. When people are doing the how many games will my team win exercise, all right, just do it like as a flow chart. If your team made the postseason last year, well, regardless if they did or did not, you'll look at your division, and you'll say, we are sweeping the bad teams and we'll split with the good ones. And if your team made the postseason last year, you'll have them as a 13-4 record. And if they missed the postseason last year, you'll have them at 9-8 or maybe 10-7.
That's funny that you say that because I'm looking at it and it's like best case 14-3, worst case 9-8.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like, who is thinking anything else less than 5-1 for the Buffalo Bills in the division? We're just taking it from the quarterback position alone, right? Well, Gene, Drake May, did you not? Drake May was bad in the postseason. He was. So, Drake May, to me, you're on notice, bud. They have a running game, and they have an okay defense, and I do think that by the time we get around to the regular season, we'll have forgotten about, the head coach, fooling around with an NFL report.
We'll never forget that. We'll just ignore it.
We'll just ignore it. We're on to other things. We're on the cycle. Also, sidebar, massive disappointment with the NFL schedule release videos. I was expecting to come in here today and just have kind of a treasure trove of the jokes and the innuendos, and all we had were the Chargers just saying, in their video game type of schedule release video, oh, yes, photo dump 1 mile ahead, you have a new message from the New York Post. Okay, haha. That's it. As far as I know, there are no other Easter eggs in any of these videos. And I wanted to come in with my top 5. Okay, number 1, I feel like all right, I'm the kid that didn't do their homework on this. Okay, I was kind of watching, and then I'm watching in between periods, and then thinking, my mind last night was going over the reasons why the Sabres lost. I might offend some people. I thought the Bills once again get an F. To me, the Bills video came off like, it's April 1st. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do for our schedule release video? If you missed it, and I don't think you need to go search it out, it's a brainstorming session with Bills employees about what they should do. And Tim, I don't know if you've ever been to a brainstorming session. They're all damn waste of time. So maybe that should have been the
think
joke.
Tank, yeah.
Yeah, the think tank. Maybe that should have been the joke. Let's just really make things really, really dumb. Like we're gonna go to the moon or whatever. They did, I guess, that a barbershop quartet with a chrysalis. The thing that turns a caterpillar into a butterfly. Okay, you have Josh Allen. Josh Allen, not only one of the top 3, if not the top quarterbacks in the league, the guy has comedic chops. He does. The second he wins a Super Bowl, he'll be on SNL. He can pitch anything. He, to me, is funny. He understands that timing. And now that he's got a wife that can help him out in this area, you're not using him the way you should. This should be, let Josh kind of do it. Maybe that was his idea and they just ran with it. I don't know. But to me, it was off the mark. No, there was only one. And I think this is a product of, I'm going to sound like Cowherd here. Well, those creative minds go to the biggest areas, Tim, in Los Angeles and in Nashville. That's why the Chargers, I guess they could have creative people. The Titans video is laugh out loud funny. That is one where, for the Titans, a relevant franchise in the NFL, but they're having fun. And what this guy, it's a man on the street. And one thing they do, people walking around Broadway and those streets in Nashville all the time, they're just walking up to strangers who they could think would be the doppelganger for a possible opponent. It's hilarious. There's one guy with sunglasses and kind of a cheesy mustache, and they go, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers." Guys, I'm not. He might have been Aaron Rodgers. There's some that are really over the top. There's a guy just sitting on the bench. Hey, it's Jerry Jones. And the guy is totally confused because he's not even from the States. Didn't even know who Jerry Jones was. But that to me is funny. I don't know if you completed the assignment or not. I did not complete the assignment, Tim.
I attempted to complete the assignment, and then I remembered how much I hate the schedule release. And then the Sabres were playing and also angering me. So I was basically just swearing at my phone and the TV because I was looking. I tried to complete the assignment, and I got so aggravated because the schedule release just isn't my cup of tea, as it's well established. And we had this assignment to have a top 5, and all I wanted was 15 Rossini jokes. I got one, and it wasn't even a good one.
No, it wasn't.
So I tapped out and got angry.
Yeah, am I to think that really the NFL suggest, even though they say they didn't.
And we said that yesterday.
No,
they said they didn't care because they knew it wasn't going to happen.
That's Robert Kraft at the owners' meetings asking everybody for a favor. Like, look, can we not make a big deal on this? You better believe that's the case. If it's a player that you could poke fun of, better believe you would do it. So I was completely off the mark on that. I thought we would have all these jokes and every team would have a good laugh about it. That came from above. You couldn't do so much with having just kind of a joke in there. Just going over, hey, the Patriots are coming to town. And then you don't do anything? You're not doing anything? By the way, the Patriot, like, it's some of their players on a roller coaster saying, Miami Dolphins! Like, okay, I get the imagery there. The NFL season has its ups and downs.
They were all so bad that made my top 5, honestly.
Really?
Yes. Like,
okay.
I'm not proud of it, but that's on the NFL.
Maybe maybe they cut down on departments for creative because to me it's maybe the thing is run its course. Maybe we run out of ideas.
I think that we had so much fun with it when it was early on that it became a thing, which obviously it has. It's now a TV show. And I think that we overdid it and we oversaturated ourselves with the schedule.
In the Chargers, I'm like, okay, this feels like every other year. I mean, the Chargers to me even were a letdown. Now the Titans going that route. See, that's creative. You don't feel the same thing about the Titans. That was one where I'm just laughing. I'm like, this is funny. And maybe it's because, what do we think of the Titans? Probably like what people thought of the Bills during the drought era. Oh, it's the Titans. Yeah, I like going to Nashville. Yeah, it's funny. All right, guys. Yeah, you're going to be what? You'll be 4-13 this year? Great. Yeah, you didn't laugh at that? The guy.
No, I did. I enjoyed that. That was also in my top 5. But they have the best one of all time for my money when they were wandering the streets with the logos and asking. That one's my favorite of the last 12 years or whatever.
So,
that they've been
doing. How could you do a wandering the streets and just getting actual people? These aren't actors. And they're not even fans. They're just tourists in Nashville. And I'm wondering, see, this is where my mind is wandering. Do you have to get a release? Like, they have to go up because some of them feel like kind of ambushed, like, oh, and then I would assume you have to, hey, we want to use this in a video. We'll pay you money. I don't know how that all kind of works. Sabres, as we got Greg Rousseau coming up here, bottom of this hour, Buffalo Bills edge rusher. If Tage Thompson scores, that's a different game. And if we're going over the reasons why the Sabres are where they are, okay, let me start backwards. Number 3, the goaltending, okay? It's been okay, but last night it was not okay. Like for UPL, particularly in one goal, can't do that. Cannot. So I'm not going to second-guess that decision by Lindy Ruff. And you, the Sabre public, you can't second-guess that one either. It's kind of 50-50 right down the middle. Okay, well, what do? We going with Lyon? We going with – maybe it's the – hey, like the old quarterback adage, if you have 2 number ones, then you really don't have a number 1. So it is going to be Alex Lyon, and Alex Lyon has that kind of chip on his shoulder. So you're going to bring that into Game 6 now. Number 2 on the list. Number 2. I never coached youth hockey, but I had a kid that did play. And he was on defense. And one of the first things they teach you, go up the boards. Go up the boards. You can't be doing a stretch pass below the dots. You would have to be really, really sure. And for Timmins to make that mistake last night, that is egregious. It's terrible, especially against that team. Like, maybe we could say it's the coaching. How do you make that mistake? Those guys are snipers. They're just laying in wait. And then you make a decision like that, bam, that changed everything. So, and Timmins was bad. He was on the goal ice for 2 other goals last night.
Timmins should not have played.
No, like to the point where was he hurt or was it just in his head? Because you make a mistake like that, it's you got to trust me on that. That is just a bonehead mistake by Timmins. And it just leads me to wonder, okay, I watch hockey, you watch hockey. What is it? Why the Sabres are not playing Zach Metza? when the team is making a push for the playoffs, when the playoffs aren't locked up, when the team is, hey, we're going to get home ice here in the second round. Hey, we're going to win the division. How is it that all of a sudden then Zach Metsa is not your seventh defenseman or your eighth defenseman? He's defenseman number 9? I don't get it.
9 times.
No, Tim, I'm not even want to play on this. Somebody needs to explain this to me. Is there an injury we don't know about? Oh, but Gene, the penalty kill. They don't trust him. Stop with that. Stop. I've seen enough. Metsa knows what to do with the puck under pressure. Now, are they going to go to the Metsa card here in Game 6? Is that the move for Lindy Ruff? I mean, I guess it would be better late than never. Yes, I admit my Rochester bias, but you know what? Look at his stats up in Buffalo. Look at him. He went months without allowing a goal in 5-on-5. He knows what to do with the puck exiting the zone. Get it up to the playmakers. And if it's not to be there, you know what? You go up the damn wall. So that doesn't help when your third defensive pairing looks eh. Oh, also, like, what happened to Byram? Paul Byram, stud against the Bruins, and now. So, and then number 1 on the list, and I'm open to suggestions on this. What is happening with the top line? Tage Thompson, I mentioned, like, you have to bury that. Alex Tuck, no points in this round. -8. The plus-minus can be a little flawed, but that is certainly worth mentioning. If you're a +8 in round 1, now you're -8. Your top line can't be a liability. What is happening? And watch away from the puck. So easy to watch, and you hear Mike Leone preach this all the time. And I'm watching Thompson and Tuck away. It's just, it looks way too passive for me. And it just leads me to think, all right, are these guys actually dealing with some sort of injury? Why was Lindy Ruff so eager to get Helenas in? And look, I think he's played well, certainly. But it's almost like Lindy knows I need a spark here from somewhere else because I can't count on this top line to deliver. But now that top line is a liability. That top line, Tage Thompson taking a stupid penalty, which leads directly to a quick Montreal power play goal. There's no reason for that. Look, if somebody's going in and, hey, I got to take this guy out or he might score, like Darlene had to, understandable. Like, that should be kind of the barometer. But this is in your zone, and you are actually, check that. It was in the Sabres zone. But the puck is going to come out anyways. And the cross-check by Thompson, yes, he's had 2 goals in this, but let's examine them both right up in Montreal, all right? One, it's in the opening minute where the thing comes off the back wall, and Dubash, complete brain fart. Like, where's the puck? Oh, I'm not over there. I could have knocked that in. The other one was like, wow, the flukiest of fluke goals. So okay, Tage Thompson has 2 goals. To me, if we're looking at the season perhaps coming to an end on Saturday night. And when we do the obit of the Buffalo Sabres, this is the lesson in Stanley Cup hockey that, you have guys that can score and get after it. And the forecheck has been great. And the goaltending was overall fine. At points, not so fine. Things have fallen apart here in these last few games. And the way last night fell apart. When we talk to Matthew Fairburn next hour, he's en route to Montreal. And we'll just kind of ask him, all right, what would he think are the biggest adjustments coming up for this game? We've talked to Greg Rousseau on the show before, going back to Fisher training camp. So just kind of a good guy. And with the charity softball game that Micah Hyde normally puts out in Buffalo, and it's my understanding that the plan is for that to come back next year. Wow, what a kind of a cool event this is coming up in our town on June 7th. Greg Rousseau calling in We'll talk to the Buffalo Bills edge rusher. We'll have time for your calls on the other end of that. Presented by Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 866-4326. Award-winning barbecue from Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 135 West Commercial Street, East Rochester. GoodSmokeBBQ.com.
So much. WGR Rochester Sports Update.
Sabres for the first time this postseason facing elimination. Game 6 coming up tomorrow night in Montreal. Lindy Ruff, head coach, on why he gave everyone today off.
I know the pressure they're feeling. I know how they feel. I know how much they care. I just feel a day away from the rink. Not coming here is a good thing. We don't need to watch video today. We don't need to talk about the game. We need to move on. There's only one game that counts now, and that is the game tomorrow. We may not even skate tomorrow. We'll save everything we got for tomorrow night. That's my initial thoughts right now.
7 o'clock, Dan Dunleavy. Rob Ray will have the call tomorrow night right here on the Sports Leader. 6:45 first pitch tonight for the Rochester Red Wings hosting Lehigh Valley. Special event coming up June 7th. We'll talk to Greg Rousseau coming up next here in the Sports Bar. PJ Championship rolling on today. It's round 2. Aldrich Poitgetter is your leader. Gene Battaglia, WGR Rochester.
Rochester's home for live sports and the best sports talk anywhere. The Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
It's a benefit for the Rousseau Family Foundation coming up at ESL Ballpark June 7th. This is cool to have an event like this in the Flower City, is it not? Greg Rousseau putting this together. Greg, good enough to give us some time today. And Greg, thanks for your time today. And just how has the offseason been going for you? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Gene. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just out here, just working back in Buffalo. We're doing like OTAs and workouts and stuff. So just been trying to get after and build that bond for the season.
For sure. So I'm going to ask you some questions about the event, and then some football questions, if that's fine. How good are you at softball, Greg?
I'm solid. not great. It's not my first sport, obviously, or I'll be playing that. I'll be playing baseball instead. But yeah, we use it more as like just a time to be able to get out as a team and kind of just have some fun and give back to the community and interact with some fans and catch a good vibe in the spring/summer before the season.
You know, Jordan Poyer, like, he was drafted by the Miami Marlins. He's a really good baseball player.
I know that.
Yeah. He could have gone that route there. So I'm hoping he'll come back here, but maybe I would put him at the top of the order there, Greg. If you can get, are you going to do any scouting here? Because I would assume you're coaching the defense in this offense versus defense matchup.
Yeah. Definitely team defense, but. Yeah, I mean, if Poirier was on the team, yeah. I mean, he's not on the team no more, so yeah. It's probably going to be just current Bills players, and probably maybe Micah or whatever. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and this is kind of, we think, is kind of like a 1 year. Like if Micah can bring that back, why was it important to you to step in and keep this sort of tradition going on here, Greg?
Micah asked me to do it, and it's been going real well for the last few years. Obviously, couldn't do it in Buffalo this year, but excited to bring it to Rochester and interact with some of the fans out there, kind of how we do like with training camp at St. John Fisher. So I mean, it was just a good opportunity, and me and Micah, we thought about it and made it happen. Just keep something special going that he built and has done a great job with.
Yeah, and knowing that this is all going to a great cause, the Greg Rousseau charity softball game. Tell us about the Rousseau Family Foundation, Greg, and why that's important to you and how it helps people.
I mean, yeah, it helps people in need, whether it's like a football camp, just giving back in that way and trying to inspire the youth, or if it's like around Christmas time, getting people some gifts and like going. We did something in the last couple of years where we went to Target and just allowed some people to just come in and shop, people who weren't as fortunate to be able to do that for themselves. We did that, and also we did an event. We did an event before school where we gave backpacks to kids with a whole bunch of supplies and school stuff, and I feel like it really helped people out. We also did a turkey drive for Thanksgiving. So I mean, we helping whatever the season is, whatever the kind of vibe time of year that's going on, whether it's like holiday season or if it's like back to school. We kind of just fit the vibe, what's going on, and help people out in that way. And then also, when it comes to the game, the proceeds are going to be going to all the people on the team with different foundations. All their foundations are going to get helped out too, because I mean, I feel like it's all about giving back at the end of the day when God puts you in a position to do so. And I feel like me and my teammates were all in a position to give back and to interact and to make somebody's day or make somebody's month or whatever it is. And yeah, we're all just trying to maximize that.
Greg, you're embodying the spirit of Bill's Mafia. I would imagine this isn't like in every stop here, but what does it say about the Bills fan base, that this is a fan base that will step up in times of need or step up and have a good time and making sure that we're taking care of our own? What is it like kind of connecting with this fan base here, Greg?
It's great. It's great. You know, they're so passionate about the team, and I mean, they want success for all of us so bad. So I mean, being able to have times where, like, even if it's like after a practice at St. John Fisher and we stop and like sign autographs and stuff, like just having those moments where we give back or throwing your gloves in the stands after a game, whatever. I know personally, and I know a lot of the dudes think alike. We try to just show love in the ways that.
Oh, Greg, do we have you?
Hello?
Yep, I got you, Greg. We went through a bad patch there. Do you got me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
My bad.
Perfect. No.
Yeah, I was saying whenever we got time to help out, whether it's like signing autographs or just talking to fans after the games or whatever, and like just whatever it is, softball game, we just try to get back. You hear me?
Yep, I got you. Yep, we got you loud and clear now.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything sounds good there. Yeah, it's it is a connection that the Bills do this very well with their fan base. We see it every year out at St. John Fisher University. Greg Rousseau, our guest here, the charity softball game, Sunday, June 7th, 1 o'clock at ESL Ballpark. Red Wings baseball. The website for more of the ticket info on how you can get involved with that. Greg, the schedule came out last night. Any kind of overview? I feel bad you got to work on Christmas Day.
No, it's cool. It's a cool opportunity to be able to play, have those big time games, and play on prime television on Thanksgiving, Christmas, like those holidays. I feel like it's kind of what a lot of us dreamed about as kids, being able to play in those games. So yeah, we look at it as a positive, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether it's like a big game, small game. They're all games are the same size, and we're just excited to have the opportunity to just put the ball down and play.
So OTAs, you'll be there next week, and what is it like here? Because I'd imagine you're not getting the playbook now, but things are new. What is it like having a new position coach, new defensive coordinator, a new head coach, although you know him from the past? What is it like having everything new here, Greg?
It's been cool. It's been great. Like that. We're all just trying to get better, maximize our potential. The players trying to learn the scheme, and we're trying to just find ourselves as a team, find our culture. And yeah, we're excited for the season. We're just excited for the opportunity to just go out there, put the ball down, and play. Everybody's hype and everybody's in good spirits.
Is this new defensive scheme going to be different from you? Might we see you doing some different things? How do you think it fits your skill set here, Greg?
I think when it comes to scheme, it fits your skill set as much as you want it to. You know, like you gotta be able to go out there and do it. At the end of the day, like football is football. With there's tweaks and stuff, but it's not just about X's and O's. You know what I'm saying? It's about going out there executing at a high level. Like any scheme in the league, whether it's 3-4, 4-3, like you could see it doing good on a Sunday and see it doing bad on another Sunday. So I mean, it's all about how we execute, how we take pride in what we do.
And sticking with the new stuff, we have a new stadium. I haven't made it inside yet, Greg. I cannot wait. What have you been able to make it over? And if so, what are your initial impressions of the new home for the Bills?
I haven't been there yet.
No,
honestly, I haven't been there, but I'll be excited when I see it. When I see it in person inside. Have a new stadium. We have a whole new vibe going this year with a lot of changes, so it's cool to have a new stadium. It times up well.
So the last one here, I'll ask you, like, what are you? So these next few months, what are you working on personally, so that you're ready for the season? How is this whole process work from May to June here till July here, Greg?
Everything. You know what I'm saying? I got a trainer. Me and him work. We work all year long. And we're just going to keep on working on everything, whether it's flexibility, pass rush, me by myself just kind of studying our new playbook so I could play fast when the fall comes. Yeah, everything. We're trying to get better at everything, and just excited for the season.
The Home Run Derby, offense versus defense, benefiting the Rousseau Family Foundation, June 7th. And, Greg, tell everybody about it one last time here, why they should come out to the event. If nothing else, you're a Bills fan. You're going to see you and the fellas just having a good time out there for a great cause.
Yeah. You said it right there. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time out there for a great cause. Everybody's going to be out there having fun together. Just, you know what I'm saying, catching the vibe out there in Rochester, interacting with the fans, and kind of getting ready for the season. But it's cool to be able to see the guys up close and personal in a non-football setting where we're not letting loose and having fun, having a good time.
Greg, appreciate the time today. Can't wait to see you here in our town in June. Thanks so much, and looking forward to it. Appreciate you, Greg.
For sure. Likewise. See you soon.
Yeah, Greg Rousseau and the charity softball game coming up on June the 7th. And our apologies for the phone line. I mean, but I think people understand, like, it's the year 2026, and we still have cell phone. But we worked our way through it.
We got through it.
We fought our way through it.
We got the gist of the message.
I think so.
That'll be a fun event.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't been to the stadium. Like, you would think that, but now that you think about it, you're going day to day during last season. You got to focus on getting ready for the next game. Like, okay, tour at new stadium, probably not. It would be nice, but you've got other things ahead on your agenda. And then these guys got to just get away for a little bit. So, but soon enough, he'll be over there. Greg Rousseau joining us here in the Sports Bar. We have 3T's 3T. Terrible Time Timmy's terrible take of the day. I hate to ask this. Are you ready for this or no?
I am ready for it, but I am angry, so it's going to be a terrible take, I promise.
Is that going to make me angry? Or
we might be aligned in anger. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
All right, we'll find out. Your call's welcome to at 866-4326, the area code proudly 585. Gene Battaglia with you on WGR Rochester.
sports talk. You're hanging out in the sports bar with Gene Battaglia on the Sports Leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
I think we all expected that to be it for Jordan Poyer, but that might have been the little nugget there from Greg Rousseau. Didn't say it was done, but like, hey, will Jordan Poyer be out there? He played baseball, was drafted by the Marlins. Like, hey, he's got to be on the team. I'm thinking, oh, well, yeah, Micah Hyde was there, put the thing all together. So, interesting. Have you missed that? He was great. Greg Rousseau, fantastic. And that event coming up June 7th. 1 year. And he'll be going back to Buffalo next season. Welcome your calls at 866-4326. Brian writing in. So I win? Brian, you win. You win. What was this about? We had to take completely off the mark. And again, sports talk. Like, sometimes that happens. And the take was, hey, NFL schedule release videos. Yeah, let's see every team take a shot here at Vrabel and Rossini. And you had a couple Easter eggs from the Chargers, and that was it. That was it, to my knowledge. And, Brian, you win because yours was better. It was Vrabel and Rossini. Yeah, on top of the new stadium in Cialis Tubbs. Yeah, that works there because you picture the roof and they're looking at the sunset and everything. Yeah, it's kind of evident to me that we don't want to embarrass Mr. Kraft. We want to make sure that Mr. Kraft is protected and his head coach is protected. We don't want to upset that. No, players, they're fair game, I suppose, but why more teams didn't try to make you laugh, I don't know.
There were so many avenues. So many.
So many things. You could have all you had to do was recreate the Sedona scene, and people would have been like, okay, yeah, that's it. You don't have to say anything else. 585-866-4326. We think Matthew Fairburn from Canada will be joining us next hour. Stay tuned for that. Time now for my favorite segment.
It's now time for Terrible Time Timmy's Terrible Take of the Day on WGR Rochester. WGR Rochester. It's Terrible Time Timmy.
Gene, we watched this stupid Buffalo Sabres team become the old Buffalo Sabres last night. We had such a good time in those first 5 minutes, right? They scored they didn't score the first 2 goals, but they scored 2 goals on 3 shots. Dobesh didn't do a damn thing for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, the Sabres stopped scoring. They looked great while not scoring for about 25 minutes, and then all of a sudden, the wheels fall off entirely. They dominate during a power play, somehow don't get any shots on goal during that. Tage Thompson, the tallest hockey player in human history, it feels like, has to stand there and lift the puck over the leg. And he slams it right in. And it wasn't even on net. That would have missed the net based on where that puck was saved. We watched the Buffalo Sabres in real time last night become what the Buffalo Sabres were for 15 years. And it was gut-wrenching and agonizing to see it happen because I know now that it might go 7, but I just have absolutely no confidence that they're going to win these next 2. They might win the next one, but they have to win 2, and I just cannot find a way to confidently say that they can do that based on what happened those last, 25 to 35 minutes of the game, because we had them. Dobesh should have been run, and then Dobesh became a stud again, and we did nothing about it, and the best player on the team took a stupid penalty, and the captain on the team took a stupid penalty, and they both scored on that, and the Sabres had absolutely nothing in those last 30 minutes.
There's a place in the world for the angry young man with his working class ties and his radical plans. Tim refuses to bend, he refuses to crawl, and there is home with his back to the wall. I can't sing Billy Joel, but you're the angry young man here.
I hate it.
You're angry.
I've lived it for 15 years. We all have. And it felt so bad again last night.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. Okay. I have to look up.
I can't.
See, the thing, this is the research project. And again, shame on me for not giving myself more time. How many times do Stanley Cup champions face elimination? And to me, this is something. Lindy hitting the go away. Like the idea that there was no morning skate today, and there probably won't be a morning skate tomorrow. Okay, this is different. To me, it's upstairs. Like what he's saying here is like there's nothing I can do to coach this team. They know what to do, and they're going to be professionals, and now they're into it all together. Just so, Tim, this series is not over. This team is maddening. And in the 3 losses, would you feel better if they lost 3-2 in overtime?
I would.
No, see, like it
I
doesn't
would.
matter.
Like, I understand a loss is a loss, but they haven't even been competitive in these losses. So why would I feel confident they're going to go out and win the next game? They have done it once.
They were competitive last night. That's what last night, the maddening part, and you hit on this, is that you're up 3-2. And you said 2 goals and 3 shots. I'll go one better. 3 goals on 4 shots.
Correct. You're right.
3 goals on 4 shots. I'm like, they're gonna run Dubash. This is fantastic. And it's not like they have really a good option B. Oh my gosh, they let the kid figure it out. He settled down. So that's the problem. The problem, again, I would go, you're venting, and I get it. The goaltending, fixed. I think Lyon going back in there, I'm not worried.
We have our answer there,
Yeah,
and it sucks that we found out the hard way.
The defense?
What did Kesselring do? How are they, like, we talk about Metza, we're ignoring Kesselring too. What are they doing?
Shen, and Byram seems to be not himself there. But clearly it's the top line. Clearly it's Thompson. We're gonna save this for the sports update coming up. But this was from Sabres Live today. Marty Baron talking about, all right, what do you do here with the top line now?
We got to figure out the top line, right? It feels like in moments where that line needs to get going, we haven't seen it. And now I know Lindy Ruff has been patient and has made a couple of tweaks with the forward lines, but nothing with the Thompson line. But I feel like you have to take apart the Thompson line and start anew.
They've got one game to figure it out.
Yeah, and even that one game, you could win that one game and then come back and lose. I mean, they are, Tim, they're on schedule. I know. Nobody wants to hear this now because the opportunity is in front of you. But to go from, hey, you're one of the worst teams in the league, to going out in the second round, this is a good season. And if it ends Saturday night in Montreal, we'll all be angry. But this is a team that the river hockey thing is biting them. They're a little too loosey-goosey on that end of the ice. And you can make up for it when you are delivering, and that top line is not delivering. And what is the reason for that? Is it just you're in a slump, let's get away from the ice for a day? That's what Lindy Ruff is saying. Or is there something right now that you cannot you can't fix? You know, I go back to Tage Thompson and ask her, none of your business. Okay, then something's going on there. All right, Angry Tim is fun, Tim.
I don't know if it's fun, but it was a fun time, I guess. Tage didn't get the All-Star break because he was in the Olympics. I understand that. But everybody, it's May. We're not supposed to be playing hockey in May, right? Like, we haven't played hockey in May in 15 years. Everybody should be hurt because they've done a good job. But it's frustrating to watch it happen possibly for the last time tomorrow.
Tim, they're still going to win in 7.
I hope so. I would love to be wrong.
I'm not moving off that mark. Tonight, you've got games in the NBA, but you got to watch them on Prime. It's like, okay, this is the funny part. It's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, the NBA took a check here. The Cavs had a chance to close out Detroit. I guess if you're a Knicks fan, you really don't care, right? Does Cleveland and James Harden scare you? They shouldn't. So Detroit doing what they did last round, we're like, oh, we're facing another elimination game. This would be the 4th elimination game the Pistons have faced this postseason. San Antonio with a chance to close out Minnesota, but this game in Minnesota tonight. 585-866-4326 is our phone number. Gene Battaglia with you, with Tim Schneider and Dan Drummond here on WGR Rochester.
WGR Rochester, the sports leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR Rochester, an Odyssey sports station. WGR Rochester, sports update.
Well, it didn't go so well last night for the Buffalo Sabres, and now they face elimination Game 6 tomorrow night in Montreal. Sabres head coach Lindy Ruff on the approach for this game.
I look at it right now, what is there, 5 teams left? To be sitting here talking to you guys, I think that it's a wonderful place to be. And I'll tell the team the same thing. We get to go to Montreal in Game 6 in the middle of May to move on to a Game 7. And I think we'll all be evaluated on what this game looks like. Just bring your best.
7 o'clock tomorrow night for the call here on the Sports Leader. Dan Dunleavy and Rob Ray with the action. PGA Championship second round as it's Aldrich Pikegetter, the South African. He is in the clubhouse. No, that was yesterday at 67. Today he's 1 through 6, 4 under for the tournament. Rochester Red Wings tonight hosting Lehigh Valley. Gene Battaglin, the Sports Leader, WGR Rochester.
Pull up a chair, stay for a while. You're in the sports bar on WGR. Grab a drink, hang your coat, get sports talk. Live from Western New York. It's a master show. 9 times better than your typical host. 9 times. Gene and Tim have takes much hotter than most. No one cares when you're out. Sabres! Bills, Americans, Red Wings, and Nighthawks. Sports bar for Rochester Sports Talk.
The sun is out. We are finally going to have a weekend where we can just say it is spring. Wings are home. If you missed Greg Rousseau, Dan DeLorean has that up for you. We'll retweet that out as, hey, we're on a good roll here. We had Christian Benford in the offseason, Greg Rousseau, as we're going to still continue to lead the way in Buffalo Bills coverage for sure. Gene Battaglia with you. Tim Schneider, our fine producer. 3 years ago, it was a story where it happened. I'm like, oh, my gosh, really? Like all these names, and we're going to have some club pro, perhaps. And then you realize, wait, this actually is a good story. Michael Block. And Michael Block having drinks at the pub in Pittsford. And, well, he's at this PGA Championship again. He gets to come back. Opening round was 5 over. So interesting how we're, time flies, is it not? 585-866-4326. We will talk to Matthew Fairburn from The Athletic. Matthew will be joining us here. Bottom of this hour as what are the adjustments? Well, you heard Lindy Ruff in the update there. It's a good point. Like, if you had to say if the Sabres won the last 5 teams standing, all the other second-round matchups have wrapped up. It's going to be Vegas and Colorado. I know. Shocking, right? And Carolina still waiting around. If the Sabres are to force a Game 7, for once the NHL put their schedule out. I cannot believe they actually did this. Thank you. Carolina and potentially Buffalo, if they're able to find a way, that would begin on Thursday. So at least you would get the extra day off in between. If that won't be the case, though, actually it would be. It would be Wednesday for Montreal and Carolina. Should Montreal wrap this up in 6? So we have all that to talk about. 585-866-4326. Sabres not on the ice today. Apparently not on the ice tomorrow. No morning skate. Now, is this also some gamesmanship too?
It might be. He's finally in control, right?
It's like, to me, I wouldn't want anybody finding out who's in the lineup. But it'd be really a roll of the dice to put Zach Metza in, and he needs a little work, wouldn't you think, at some point? There's the mentality of we're going to go down with our guys. We had the cut earlier from Marty Baron talking about, all right, do you break up the top line? That was almost unthinkable entering this postseason. I cannot believe that we are having this conversation about the top line and what they're not doing. But, I mean, if we're just kind of connecting dots here, it was ballsy to go to the Hellenius card, was it not? And scored last night. Everything's kind of good, and he's made some plays. But the idea that you are relying on a 21-year-old and a 20-year-old, Benson and Hellenius, That's not the plan. It shouldn't be the plan. I mean, it got you to this point.
It's a bright future, but it shouldn't be right now.
No, not at all. So, again, it's going to be kind of a bummer when this all does come crashing down, the sting of it. But the good news here is that once it is over, then you'll kind of look ahead and all of a sudden, all right, how do you improve this roster? What do you do? One of the things I'll alter here is I said this at the beginning thinking, all right, barring a knockout training camp, would Hellenius start out in Rochester? I thought he would. And right now, I would put the odds of that being very low. I think it'd be kind of hard for me to imagine. Now, you might just do that and just kind of, just make sure you're keeping roster slots and how that might shake out. But it didn't seem to concern the Sabres like, okay, we're going to promote him now, and it actually might cost us here years down the road when it comes to, his tenure. He probably stays up in Buffalo to begin next year, and how that Amherst roster shakes out next year, oh boy, that's going to be interesting for sure. Greg Rousseau joined us in hour number 1, and that's going to be fun. June 7th, the charity softball game at Frontier Field to benefit the Rousseau Family Foundation, and we talked about how, hey, he's there to help youth football teams make some families' holiday season brighter, and that's the spirit of Bills Mafia. And anytime a Bills player is doing something like that in our community, look, I have no problem talking about that. That's, and hopefully you don't either. The Bills schedule, it's interesting because we do this exercise every year, right? And you look at it and you think, boy, this team minimum should be 12-5, and look, they should be 5-1 in the division. And it's such, you want to talk about roller coasters. That is the NFL season. It is the analogy because one thing is looking good and all of a sudden, boom, you're falling right down. But if we just started with the beginning, and the beginning is important, the idea they loaded up September. Well, I'm counting the Patriot game in September. That's actually October, the first Sunday in October. The idea that 3 of the first 4 games are at home, 2, 3, and 4. Weeks 2, 3, and 4. You get the extra time to prepare for the Chargers, by the way, week 2 into week 3. It just underscores the importance of that Texans game. You can't lose to Houston week 1. And the Bills over the years, all right, you lost to the Jets the one year, but you were able to figure it out. But if the Bills are going to win this division and get the top seed in the AFC, which I think is possible, it's not going to be easy, but in this division, it should be a good pathway to win. It's those first 4 games. Some may say it's the 4 out of 5 and the 4 out of 5, and we'll get to that. But if you start out 3-1, I think you're going to be okay the rest of the way in terms of winning the division, even though those games are at home. The Rams, Raiders, Ravens, Vikings, Jets, I could see that going 3-2 in that sequence. You're not going to sweep the Rams and Raiders on back-to-back weeks. The Rams that and we're doing this right now, this exercise, that might be a loss. The Viking game, that might be a loss. And then we go to Dolphins and Chiefs. I don't think the Bills are undefeated at home. Maybe that Chiefs game is a loss. It's the 4 out of 5 then, going from ending week 17. At Patriots, at Packers, home against the Bears on a Saturday night. It's on CBS, by the way. Like, when does CBS get a Saturday night game? Was that just kind of a chip they threw there? Like, all right, yeah, we're not going to put everything in streaming. I'm like, I thought for sure when I heard Saturday night game, like, oh, okay, this will be Peacock. No, it's on CBS. And then at Denver on Christmas and at Miami. Ask Grigger, so I had to ask him, like, hey, I'm kind of apologizing. Like, you got to play on Christmas. Sorry about that. And they're probably coached up on this. Like he said, no, we don't take this for granted. Like, that's...
You're the only game on at that point. It is an honor.
It is an honor. It is an honor. It is kind of one of those logistic sort of things that, you have family and you got to make sure that your family is kind of taken care of. It's not the easiest of schedules for the Buffalo Bills. That's for certain. But at the end of this, 6 primetime games. 6. The Rams led the way with 7, which, what are they saying about the Rams by doing that? Or is the NFL inadvertently saying, this team should be the Super Bowl team? They were on the cusp of it last year. In the postseason last year, would you make the argument that the second best team in the NFL was actually the Rams? I would. That was what the AFC put out there in the Super Bowl. That's why we were all upset. Like, come on, people. Bills. Also, Joe Buck. Did you see this?
I did not.
Joe Buck made his Super Bowl prediction
Already.
Right.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills.
Heard of them.
Okay. Go down the list here, Tim. Buffalo Bills, according to Joe Buck, and don't look this up.
I won't.
Who will they face in the Super Bowl, according to the great Joe Buck?
I'm going to assume it's not the Rams based on the conversation that you had just said.
Okay.
It won't be the Seahawks because that's a repeat. I'm going to go with the Bears.
No. Try
Eagles?
again. Nope.
It's not a silly Cowboys answer, is it?
Is that your final answer?
It is. It's the Cowboys.
He's picking
Good God.
the Buffalo Bills against the Dallas Cowboys. And part of this is because I see, I get a lot of Cowboy stuff in my feed. I'm friends with RJ Ochoa, and Cowboy Twitter exploded. Oh, my gosh, somebody with relevance is picking us for the Super Bowl.
That seems bad, though.
I don't shouldn't even.
It's May.
Okay, true. You shouldn't even pick the Cowboys in their own division.
I would agree with that.
The Eagles have some drama. Their defense is still really nasty, and I would take it over Dallas in a heartbeat. So I still think that is the Eagles division, and yeah, that'll be a good Thanksgiving Day game. But are you really trusting George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott? Or is that just really kind of the basis of this? Their defense was very civvy last year. Did you figure all that out? I cannot. To me, it's actually kind of clickbaity there by Bay. And maybe he ends up being right.
I'm going to go the complete opposite. Cowboys are a 7-win team.
Yeah, probably. I would say more likely than not. And did they really improve themselves? I mean, they had a couple draft picks. So who's to say? The NFC right now, to me, it feels like the Rams. The Rams, the Eagles. Am I willing to go with? Apologies to any Bears fan. I think it has the look of, all right, you take a half step back this year. If you're thinking if the Bears win the division and they say they're the number 2 seed, I don't see it that way. I don't think the Packers are growing up. I don't know why they kept that head coach. Like the Green Bay Packers and, but they're bringing in, Bobby Babich for the secondary. That'll work out. Are we worried about that Bills-Packers game? See, that's a funny thing, too. It's like you look at this schedule and, oh, my gosh, the Bills play the Packers on Sunday Night Football. Who's to say the Packers don't fall apart? Are they going to actually be a good team?
They don't have any receivers for love.
No, it's like, yeah, that doesn't feel right to me about that division. So to me, it'll be the same sort of culprits in the NFC. The Rams, the Niners. I don't think the Seahawks go away entirely, but they lost a running back, which is not helpful. They're a wild card team. There isn't anybody who's head and shoulders in this league. And that's the exact way the NFL wants things, for sure. PGA champion. Now, I do everything through the Rochester lens, right? This would have been great. I was so worried earlier in the week, and yesterday was a crappy day. That would have been terrible, but they played through it in Pennsylvania. And why do they do this now? It's for TV. The PGA of America does not want to go up against the NFL in August. Even though August football sucks, the NFL is so far ahead of the field putting the PGA Championship in August. Why not put it in the month of May? And what else are they up against on Sunday? I'm asking honestly. Like, okay, we could have a couple Game 7s in the NBA. Maybe
Maybe.
one.
No, not even confirmed.
Not even confirmed. Maybe one. We're going to be watching golf on Sunday in May. Oh, by the way, you can charge more for advertising in May. And by doing so, you have your partners paying just a little bit more for that. So 2035, as long as I'm doing this and checks notes, how many years is that from now?
9, I believe, right? Can I get the math on that? Can we do the 1, 2, 3, 4?
9 times.
You're slow on the button today, bud.
I apologize.
It's Friday. You've got one door out. We got one finger out the door here. Matthew Fairburn from The Athletic will be joining us here in just a little bit. 585-866-4326 is our phone number. As taking a look at the baseball schedule here. Red Sox in Atlanta. 30-14 on the season. And you have the Subway Series tonight too.
Kinda.
Well, it's happening. It's Yankees and Mets. Now, I don't know the answer. Oh, actually, I do. And this is one where, my father-in-law will be like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And myself, oh, you got to be kidding me. Now, I'm a down-and-out Met fan. Yes, the Mets swept the Tigers, but I'm still kind of like, eh. But it's the Subway Series, and this should be something. Oh, tonight it's on Apple TV. Schlitter against Holmes. So let's review. People are pointing the finger at the NFL, but not the only ones. You have Major League Baseball taking the series when it comes to interest in the New York Metro, and I would say by extension us, the Subway Series. And you're putting that on Apple TV. You have the NBA, at least that's regular season. You have the NBA tonight, 2 round 2 game 6s exclusively on Amazon. There's going to come to a point where people are just going to be, I'm good, or the next generation is going to be like, I didn't kind of get exposed to this because my parents didn't subscribe to everything, or maybe you're just kind of starting out your life and you can't afford everything. I get it. I can't afford everything. I don't subscribe to Peacock. That's one where I'm like, all right, maybe there'll be one Bills game. I'll figure out a way to watch it otherwise. But, do I really need to see, and it's my favorite series of all time, Cheers again? No. No, it's okay. I think I'll be okay. I don't need to subscribe for that and other great content. But, yeah, Paramount, all these services. And, at some point, I would think network TV is the only thing that is, network TV should just be doing everything to keep sports in that arena, in that area right now. We will talk to Matthew Fairburn from The Athletic, hopefully. Now, the disclaimer being, and he was very upfront with me, said I didn't know where he would be in his travels. And that is taking him north of the border, certainly, as tomorrow night, game number 6. Pre-game coverage tomorrow begins at 6 o'clock, as we will have it for you here on the Sports Leader. You're welcome to give us a call on the other side, as it is the Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line at 585-866-4326. Gene Battaglia with you here on WGR Rochester.
Rochester.
Hey, it's Gene Battaglia. Shopping for double pane windows? Well, nothing beats the new Illumilite windows. They upgrade from Window Nation. The new Illumilite windows are designed to offer triple pane performance with the look and weight of double pane. That's because they use Triton Advanced triple pane glass, which means Window Nation's Illumilite windows are more energy efficient. They reduce outside noise by 15% or more, and they offer more glass area than comparable windows. That all adds up to windows that are easier to open, have an unmatched level of clarity, and make your home comfortable year-round. Plus, they're backed by a limited lifetime warranty. And now's the best time to upgrade your home's windows during the Window Nation Buy 4, Get 4 free sale. Imagine replacing all your windows with new Illuminite ones and getting half of them for free. Plus, you could even get them with no money down and no monthly payments or interest for 2 years. Illuminite windows, available exclusively from the trusted partners and experts at Window Nation. Schedule your consultation now by calling Window Nation at 866-90NATION or go to windownation.com.
Hi, it's Rich Ide.
Sports Update.
Sabres for the first time this postseason facing elimination. Game 6 is tomorrow night. Head coach Lindy Ruff on why he gave everyone today off.
I know the pressure they're feeling. I know how they feel. I know how much they care. I just feel a day away from the rink. Not coming here is a good thing. We don't need to watch video today. We don't need to talk about the game. We need to move on. There's only one game that counts now, and that is the game tomorrow. We may not even skate tomorrow. We'll save everything we got for tomorrow night. That's my initial thoughts right now.
Dan Levy, Rob Ray on the call tomorrow night. Matthew Fairburn will join us here from The Athletic. Matthew joining us next year in the Sports Bar. PGA Championship second round action at the top of the leaderboard through 7 is Aldrich Poitgetter. He is at 4 under. Red Wings home tonight taking on Lehigh Valley. Gene Battaglia, WGR Rochester.
Straight up with no chaser. You're in the Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia on the Sports Leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
Something that started so good last night for the Buffalo Sabres went terribly wrong, and now they're facing elimination for the first time this postseason. Joining us on the phone, where I'm not sure where about he is. We can ask him, start there. Matthew Fairburn giving us just a few minutes today. Matthew, appreciate your time as always. And how are you today? Whereabouts are you?
We're about an hour from the border here, somewhere north of Syracuse. Pierre LeBrun's behind the wheel, and we're on our way here. We should be in plenty of time to get a nice dinner in Montreal.
That's quite a name drop there, Matthew. But then again, I have to remember who your colleagues are here. Like, you work for The Athletic. You work for the New York Times. It's great stuff here. Matthew, okay, so the questions here today, and let's start here with the top line here. Thompson and Tuck. We heard Marty Baron suggest maybe you break that pair up. What's happening with this line here? Why is this not working the way we've seen it throughout the season?
Yeah, I think it's, comes down to those two individual players aren't really holding up their end of the deal. I mean, I don't know. It's possible, anytime you're talking about any player this time of year, there's always a possibility that they're playing at less than 100%, but both of those guys are suiting up. And I just feel like, in Tage Thompson's case in particular, he's been taking some foolish penalties on top of not producing. And, I think his defensive game has been lacking. I think that's been true for Alex Tuck as well. There's been some blown coverages, blown back checks, and even, Tage Thompson had a chance to kind of change this whole narrative last night. He goes in on a breakaway and makes one move too many and gets stopped, can't get the puck up over Dobesh, and it's, the game flipped from there. So these guys have had their chances to change this story, and they haven't. And it's frankly hard to win a playoff series when your best players are not anywhere near your best players. Like, there's been a couple of games where Tage Thompson and Alex Tuck have been a lot closer to their worst players than their best players, and that's just, it's not going to get it done.
No, right. So that's number one on the list. If the top guys don't show up, hard to imagine that this comes back to Buffalo. Number two, and we've been fixated on this, throughout the playoffs here. Like, what will Lindy dial up as far as the bottom pair? And I think it's fair to say Timmins did not have a good game last night. Directly leading one of those turnovers to a goal. How would you say? What do you think might happen here? In the bottom pair here coming up on Saturday night.
I don't know. I have a hard time figuring out, how drastic Lindy Ruff is going to go with his lineup changes this time around. Like, I'm anticipating a goalie change again, back to Alex Lyon. But, Lindy Ruff, they didn't practice today. They may not skate tomorrow. So whatever lineup changes he makes, he might get to keep them a secret until warm-ups. And Timmins is, it's tricky because that has been, their ace shot blocker, big, piece on the penalty kill. He has been prone to some of those turnovers for sure, but it's hard to go away from him at the same time. So they have options. Logan Stanley is sitting there. Michael Kesselring is waiting to get into a game. Zach Metza is waiting, to get into a game, but is an elimination game 6 on the road in Montreal, the time you want Metza making his first, playoff game, or Kesselring getting in for just the second time this playoffs. it's hard for me to picture, but I'm not putting anything past Lindy Ruff at this point.
One move he did make, and I think we can all agree, your thoughts on Konsta Helenius, where we know the production here in Rochester, but you're looking in Rochester, it's like, all right, what's around them? Sometimes it's kind of hard to kind of tell. Your thoughts on what you've seen in 2 games this postseason here from the 20-year-old Matthew?
Yeah, I really like his game. I think he's kind of like Ostlund, kind of like Benson, these guys that, he's not afraid of the moment. And he's not afraid to go where he needs to go to win puck battles and, stand up to guys that are bigger, stronger. He knows how to play the game. Like the Sabres amateur staff has clearly done a good job of finding guys that are hockey smart, but that also, are capable of performing in big moments. And he's just the latest example. I've loved the way he's sparked this lineup, and, he's got a lot of that offensive skill that I think drives his game and really defines what he's going to become years down the road. But it's the forechecking ability, the physicality, the willingness to, do the right things away from the puck and not make mistakes in the defensive zone. I feel like that has really changed kind of, his trajectory and what he can be right now. And we know he's got a high ceiling in the future, but he's already helping this team a great deal. It's a shame they've kind of run out of these young guys to turn to, right? Like they don't have any, they don't really have another one. They turned to Ostlund to fix things in Boston, and he got hurt. And then they turned to Helenius here in round 2, and he sort of fixed things, but only for a game. It'd be nice if they're all out. They've called on all their forwards at this point, that have that are ready for the NHL. So, but they look good, set up for the future here. I feel like with some of these young guys.
So I think it's fair to say the Sabres will be taking on, even though they're the better seed, if you will, they should have this underdog mentality tomorrow night. Like they better have it. Can we get through the first 20 minutes? Can we get through the next 20 minutes? And the guy who's going to be at the back end of this, tell us a little bit more about Alex Lyon and might in this situation, might his mentality actually kind of work there? That I don't get the sense that he's going to be afraid of this moment, Matthew.
No, I feel like he probably more or equal to anyone in the locker room has an appreciation for these opportunities, right? And that they don't come around all that often. And I think that's hard for the younger players to understand. It's probably easier for guys like Tuck and Thompson and Dahlin, who have worked for so long to get one of these, to realize that it does not happen all the time. And Alex Lyon knows that. So if he gets the shot to play in an elimination game in Montreal on a Saturday night, like he's going to rise to that occasion. He's going to, we know that his game is sort of defined by his competitiveness, his battle, his, willingness to really compete, in between the whistles and after the whistles. And I think that does something to his team. Like he's never afraid. And I think that does something to his team. Weirdly enough, I felt like they did need the calm of Luukkonen a couple of games ago, right? Like I felt like they needed to settle things down a little bit. But the way Luukkonen played last night, it's tough. He played really well in Game 4, but I don't think he was at his best in Game 5. The defensive coverage in front of him was a huge problem also. But, I do think it's probably the right time to go back to Alex Lyon.
Yeah, and let's just acknowledge Montreal's really, really good, and they have guys. And look, if you go back to Game 4, like if you are going to be giving up 7 power play opportunities, as the Sabres did, I don't see them advancing here, Matthew. So your thoughts on kind of the need to be aggressive, but also kind of stay out of the box, because if you have that many penalties, hard for me, again, to imagine that this comes back to Buffalo on Monday night.
Yeah, they did a better job of that last night, but the Canadians scored on both power plays. I mean, they're that good. I think this power play could be really good going forward, even better than it was statistically this season, just because so many of those guys are young and they've started to get more reps together. But Lindy Ruff had, some words after Game 4 about some of the calls and maybe the game being called a certain way and Montreal players going down a little bit easy. So we'll see if, it seemed like last night they were letting the two teams play a little bit more. Now that we're going to be back in Montreal, we'll see if that changes at all. But there's no question that, the Sabres penalty kill has been working overtime in this series, and I don't think they are going to be able to survive doing that in Game 6 against Montreal.
And Matthew, we won't talk to you until, after the conclusion how this all plays out here. And I want to just get your thoughts on, for either team, what is on the other end of this. And you talk to so many people in this league, it's kind of unique. You have a Carolina team that is just sitting around waiting. A Carolina team that just was a buzzsaw. And is this beneficial to rest up, or is this, my gosh, they're going to be out of rhythm? Your thoughts on whatever happens here for Carolina versus Montreal or Buffalo here coming up in the Eastern Conference Final?
I don't think it will be a total cakewalk for Carolina. I don't think the gap between them and these two teams is that significant. But I will say if either Buffalo or Montreal, whichever team advances, if either one of them plays defensively the way they've played in this series, then Carolina will make pretty quick work of them. But I think Montreal and Buffalo, to an extent, they've shown they can adapt to different styles of games and do things differently when the situation calls for it, especially Montreal against Tampa. So I think either team can give Carolina a run for its money. I don't know how, the rest is certainly going to be beneficial to an extent, but having played in competitive games every other night, there's a benefit to that too, as long as these teams aren't completely worn out. And being as young as they are, both Montreal and Buffalo, there is a chance that they will be running on fumes a little bit by the time they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But that's the playoffs. That's the game. And Carolina's built for it. They've done it over and over again. And if they get the goaltending, Carolina's going to be a really tough out.
Matthew, when you get stopped at the border, particularly Pierre LeBrun, sometimes they want to have the hockey insider and grill you with questions right then and there before they let you cross?
We do get that occasionally once people find out what I do for a living. And certainly once we're in Montreal, it's hard to go anywhere without somebody wanting a photo with Pierre. So he probably gets it worse than I do.
Yeah, you're just his handler at that point. And it's okay, step back, people. Step back. Okay, thank you. Appreciate your subscribing to The Athletic. We appreciate you. Matthew, appreciate your time giving us on such a busy day. What is, as we're getting ready here and we want to read some things tonight or tomorrow morning before Game 6, what can we check out?
Yeah, you can head to theathletic.com/NHL/Sabres. Find everything we're writing there. Got plenty of stuff off the game last night. We'll have a few more things ahead of tomorrow, and we'll have things covered from Game 6 and Game 7 if it's necessary, and then all the fallout after. It's going to be an interesting summer here in Buffalo one way or another.
Yeah, we're not fans here. We're in the media, but I think we can push that off for a little bit here. We'll have plenty of time to talk about what should be next here. Matthew, appreciate the time today. Safe travels, and it's great to have you on a Fairburn Friday here on WGR Rochester. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Matthew Fairburn, our guest here. 585-866-4326 is our phone number to call. Last call is for you. Let's take a break, and we'll take some of your calls coming up next. Gene Battaglia with you here, WGR Rochester.
In apps.
Hi, it's Gene Battaglia. Shopping for double pane windows? Well, nothing beats the new Illumilite window upgrade from Window Nation. The new Illumilite windows are designed to offer triple pane performance with the look and weight of double pane. That's because they use Triton Advanced triple pane glass, which means Window Nation's Illumilite windows are more energy efficient. They reduce outside noise by 15% or more, and they offer more glass area than comparable windows. That all adds up to windows that are easier to open and have an unmatched level of clarity and make your home comfortable year-round. Plus, they're backed by a limited lifetime warranty. And now is the best time to upgrade your home's windows during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale. Imagine replacing all your windows with new Illumilite ones and getting them half of them for free. Plus, you could even get them with no money down or no monthly payment or interest for 2 years. Illumilite windows available exclusively from the trusted experts at Window Nation. Schedule your consultation now by calling Window Nation at 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com.
City. The Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia on the Sports Leader. 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR. Rochester.
Last call is for you at 585-866-4326. One headline I did not have on my bingo card today. Edwin Diaz linked to illegal cockfighting ring in Puerto Rico. What?
Is that good?
What? All right, so this is not good, okay? Cockfighting is banned even in U.S. territories, such as Puerto Rico in 2019. Now, reading this up. Now, this culture goes back hundreds of centuries, but you are in a U.S. territory. It is illegal, and I'll just say this. Something that is illegal, the stupidity involved in this, in that the promoters, for something that, hey, it's part of our culture, yes, but it's illegal. Okay, so there's that. The stupidity for Edwin Diaz to appear in social media promoting this event in his Dodgers uniform. It wasn't like, hey, I'm actually here just kind of taking this in and throwing some money down. He is there promoting it. Of all the things in the universe you could endorse, you're doing this for what? Why? I don't know where this goes. Now, he's hurt, and this falls under the not my problem anymore that he left the Mets. Maybe the Mets knew. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a shocker that all of a sudden, wait a second, Devin Williams? You're paying Devin Williams? Why not Edwin Diaz? So where does the story kind of go from here? I don't know. I don't need to see any video of cockfighting, by the way. I don't think anybody would say, yeah, but you don't understand. No, I understand.
It's illegal for a reason.
It's illegal. Yes.
Him saying it feels like home is a crazy indictment.
It's Michael Vick isn't this kind of along the same things? I would think. I don't know how this plays out. Tom calling in. Tom, welcome. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Hey, fine, Gene. Love the show. Great job on the Sabres coverage. And by the way, I wasn't calling about what you just said about Diaz, but you want to get on the wrong side of the public? Involve cruelty to animals.
Yeah.
That's a quick way out of public favor. You put your employer in a really tough spot. But, I was struck by the Sabres coverage and watching the games, the old adage, if you have more than one quarterback, you don't have a quarterback. And I kind of feel the same way with the Sabres. Both goalies are competent. Both goalies are good, but you're waiting for the wheels to fall off on either one. And when that happens, you're behind. And I don't know what the future is going to hold for the Sabres, but again, two competent goaltenders, they're good, but the flaws that they have are really tough for a team to make up. And I know some of those flaws, by the way, are the turnovers in the D and the play in front of them. Mm-hmm. But some of them aren't. Some of those goals last night, at least two of those goals, you were like, geez, I wish he had those back. I mean, those in a playoff game, those are tough to overcome in playoff hockey. And my other thought was, and I don't know if you feel the same way, Lindy Ruff is a competent, good coach. I'm not upset with Lindy at all. But I wonder if Marty St. Louis got a better pulse of what's going on in the game. Like last night was a perfect example. Like I thought they were going to pull the Montreal goaltender, and they didn't. He was feeling something. He turned to his assistant coaches. He read the situation, right? He had faith in his guys. And I sort of wondering if this seesaw back and forth, while it worked during the regular season, is not exactly what you need in the playoffs. And that stability, like, I'm sticking with you. Gut it out. Turn it around. That's why I think in the end, they got to turn the lion and they got to ride him the rest of the way. I think he's the battler of the two. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, Tom, great points there. And let's talk about the goaltending here. Maybe Monday ends up being the obituary show, or actually, not obituary, but what's the word, Tim? When you go in and hey, we're gonna do forensics here. Okay, what's the cause of death? So we will do our autopsy.
That's
the word. Yeah, thank you. So it's a Friday afternoon. I'm not.
I was going eulogy, but I knew that wasn't the answer.
Eulogy. Okay, we could eulogize. the obit, but you're doing the autopsy on this team, and that will be a big topic. Can you upgrade? And then you look around. All right. Very cryptic comments from one Connor Hellebuck in Winnipeg. Does he want out? What would it take? Hey, it's a team that you traded with before. That would be great. Are you willing to part with Constellanius? I mean, honestly, that should be where the starting point is. And then, a couple draft picks not going to cut it. Is it Shesterkin in New York? I mean, maybe they just try to do the flex tape. We're going to patch this up or be back. No, the Rangers need a teardown. Do they move off of him? There are better goaltenders that are going to be available, perhaps. And this is where Jarmo Kekalainen is going to have to kind of weigh things. I agree with you on the goaltenders right now. I think Alex Lyon is your best option, but this is the ceiling right here. This is it. I still think UPL can kind of develop into something. This is the first postseason for UPL. And you did this out of necessity. Remember how this whole season began? Well, it wasn't good in December, and you were alternating goalies in January, and you're winning. So you stuck with it. But ultimately, point to me the Stanley Cup champion where this does work.
Champion, very hard to find.
No, it doesn't. Sure, you've had champion where somebody needs a breather.
Edmonton and Vegas did it, but they didn't win.
No, like champion, right. They did it out of necessity. Like Edmonton didn't have goaltending. So the goaltending for the Sabres, it's been like a C+. That it's not been great. And Tom, as you pointed out, look, there's been miscues. Like Timmins was terrible last night. But talking to Matthew Fairburn and thinking about this and the fact that they didn't skate today, I don't think you go to Metza. I would go to Metza. I don't think Lindy Ruff will go to Metza. Knowing that, okay, can you put somebody in that hasn't been on the ice and you're not even going to give them any extensive work? That's a tough call. So I believe that you're going to see pretty much the same lineup, with the exception of Alex Lyon. Lyon came in there. And for Dubois, yeah, that was a rocky beginning. And did St. Louis do that, or does he just not really know? Believe in the other guy. Kane Primo, we know him. I don't think he's the backup there.
No, it was Jake Fowler.
Jake Fowler is the backup. Yeah, so all these guys that we saw in Laval all those years, you're not going to either go those guys in that situation. So, again, now the Sabres, they should embrace this underdog role. Sure, they had the home ice advantage. Get through 20 minutes, and then get through 20 more. And then you get to the third period. The key in this game, one of them is the officiating. If you have a game that was called the way it was in Game 4, then you know what? Tune in Monday for the autopsy for the Buffalo Sabres.
No Bruno Martino.
No Bruno Martino. No, we might not be playing the Italian victory music. I would love to play that for you on Tuesday, but we'll have to wait. Speaking of Monday, now Tuesday, the OTAs will be going on. And that is going to be the day that they will open it up to Bills media. Okay, that would have been a conflict for Matt Perino, who normally joins us on a Tuesday. We're going to move Matt up to Monday next week. So Matt Perino, Syracuse Post-Standard and Shout Podcast, will be joining us Monday at 1:25 because, yeah, that was a big part of our show today, talking about the schedule that I still have in my hands here. I haven't, usually I have it memorized by now. And I'm not even close. Just too much of my mind is blue and gold right now. Just too much of it is thinking, all right, this is good, but can they figure out a way to get past this? We will talk coming up Monday to Matt Perino, and we'll talk more Sabres hockey for you. Greg Rousseau was on the show today.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. He was fantastic. If you missed Greg Rousseau, wherever you get your fine audio, we have it in podcast form. Think of our show as the 10-hour-a-week Rochester Sports Podcast. It's not easy to do 10 hours a week of podcast. Some may say, Gene, you don't do a good job of it anyways. I will. So the Odyssey app is where you can listen back to it on Rewind or wherever you get your fine audio. Tomorrow night, we've got the Sabres. look, Derek Kramer will be on Sports Talk Saturday tomorrow. Certainly talking a lot of Sabres. We will have that for you tomorrow night with pregame beginning at 6. For Dan Drummy, for Tim Schneider, my name is Gene Battaglia. We'll talk to you Monday. Enjoy this fine weekend. Show up with the Bulldog coming your way next here on WGR Rochester.